Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Jaya Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Jai. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं हरिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते भूपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Bhuvana Mataji, we are starting.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
You can, no? Today Lakshmi is there, no?
Yeah, Mataji, she is there.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome to again our Srimad Bhagavad Gita classes. Today we are discussing from the 11th chapter entitled The Universal Form, and today we are going to cover text from 43 to 47. 44, 45, 46, 47. Correct, no? 40, 48. 43 to 48 we are going to cover today. So I will share my screen and able to see, no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, madam.
Who wants to read first one?
Can I start, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Sudha Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandat pranam.
Dandavat.
Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pujyascha gurur gariyan natvat samosti abhyatika kutonyo lokatrayapi apratima prabhava. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Purport also, Mataji?
No, 1 second.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So now we are reading the chapter entitled The Universal Form. So we know that how it is very overwhelming chapter actually. We know how in the 10th chapter Krishna elaborated all his different vibhutis, and Arjuna is so much overwhelmed by hearing them, and he glorifies also, and then he puts a request that he would like to see the manifestation of those vibhutis. And Arjuna, being a dear devotee and friend of Krishna, Krishna obliges and he fulfills Arjuna's request and displays his universal form. That is the details of the 11th chapter. And Krishna says to Arjuna, you'll not be able to behold this form. So he gives him the divine eyes, the divine outlook, by which he is able to perceive the universal form. And then now Sanjaya describes the universal form, because Arjuna is seeing and Krishna is he's manifesting, and Sahasra Shirsha, Sahasra Chakshu. So he has thousands, unlimited eyes, unlimited effulgence, unlimited different parts of the body, unlimited hands he has, and the effulgence of his body is more than thousands and millions of moons, and so much of radiance is emanating from his body. Sahasra heads, hundreds of millions of heads he is having, and the entire it is like the entire cosmos in one place. Everything Arjuna is able to see, all the demigods, all the sages, all the living, all this is happening. Now he's seeing the Vishwarupa, and then Arjuna is filled with ecstasy. His hairs are standing on the end of his body, and he is then he starts talking, and he starts telling in overwhelming ecstasy. He's kind of describing the form which he is seeing, and again he says that how your body is all glowing, is filled with the eyes, filled with heads, hands, and your bellies, and it is you are there is the beginning, the middle, and the end. Everything is within you, and you are spread across the entire cosmos, like that, and all is glorifying. And at one point he sees that all the he kind of sees the future also. He says the great Kurukshetra warriors like Dhritarashtra and party, Duryodhana, Bhishma, Karna, Drona, all are entering into the mouth of the universal form, and many all different soldiers are entering, except the Pandavas. Everybody is entering into the universal form of the Lord. And Arjuna is bewildered. Then he suddenly feels that, who are you? Who are you? What is your mission? And at that time, Krishna says that actually he apparently has displayed his Vishwarupa as well as his Kala Rupa. And he says in the Vishwarupa, he says that how he's the one who is beginningless, endless, he is the creator, he is the manifester, he is the annihilator, everything. There is nothing in this manifestation that exists beyond Krishna. Krishna is the cause of all causes. That is the manifestation form. And by in the mean of Kala Rupa, he is devastating the entire thing. Everything is been created by him. The Mahavishnu, all other Vishnus are part of him. From them, everything is kind of getting created, and everything is annihilated, and everything enters into the body of the universal form. So he says, I am the time factor. Time I am. So that way he shows Krishna, Arjuna, how he is Kala Rupa also. And he has come to annihilate everything. And then Krishna says that the destination or the outcome of the Kurukshetra war is already done. Everybody are going to get annihilated. They are going to die. Basically, in simple terms, they are all going to die. But you be the instrument. You take the fame, you take the glory. I will help you. You just fight. You have to just be an instrument. You have to just do the fighting. And but the end picture I have already shown you. The movie's end is known. They are all going to die. That's all. So that is a very important instruction for all of us when it comes to preaching, especially what Prabhupada was mentioning, that how Lord Chaitanya, when he said that Pratviyach Nagaradigram, this Sankirtan movement will be spread across the everywhere, across the globe. Will be spread across the globe. Throughout the world, the Sankirtan movement will spread. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that, that means that it is going to happen, because Lord Chaitanya is not different from Lord Krishna, and when he is telling the Sankirtan movement is going to spread everywhere, means it is going to spread. But then Prabhupada says that that like Arjuna is an instrument in hands of Krishna, similarly our Prabhupada was instrument in the hands of his spiritual master, and apparently it seemed that Prabhupada has because it took that effort of doing it, of executing it, of listening to his spiritual master through the instructions of Krishna coming through his spiritual master, that fame, glory was given to Srila Prabhupada. And that is what Prabhupada is telling all of us, that everything is going to, anyways, it is preaching movement will spread, but you all be the instruments for it. So we have to just play the part, and on the behalf of our spiritual masters, on behalf of Lord Chaitanya, and what seems to be impossible for us will be manifested, because Lord Chaitanya has already told it. So similarly here Krishna is telling Arjuna that he's telling that everybody is going to die. You have to just be an instrument. So like that, again Krishna, Arjuna will be overwhelmed. He will again glorify Krishna. Now specifically here from the verse 41 to 44, 41, 42, 43, 44, these 4 verses. Now what has happened is Krishna, Arjuna suddenly started feeling that he is such a glorious person. Before that 2 verses, he offers obeisances to Krishna, and he glorifies Krishna. He offers obeisances to Krishna, and he is thinking that this form, this personality is with whom I had been all through, taking him as for granted, and he feels very apologetic about it. And 41, 42, 43, for these 4 verses is actually begging apologies to Krishna. He glorifies Krishna and said, hey, I just considered you as, I just called you as, hey Krishna, hey Sakhe, hey Yadava, like that I called, and I slept with you, we ate together, then sometimes I shared my remnants with you, not knowing your reality, how you are the source of all, the cause of all causes, there is none other than you, the supreme personal person, everything just, it's just you, everything just emanates from you. So without knowing your greatness, without knowing the magnanimity of your of you, I just took you for granted. I just took you for granted, and I was being very casual with you. So that way he begs apology. So this is the 43rd verse and 44th verse for today. Is also the continuation of apologies which Arjuna is begging from Krishna. So we will read the 43rd. In this particular verse, he is glorifying, telling that you are the father of everything living as well as non-living. That is, for everybody, you are only the Pita, and you are the original spiritual master, the spiritual master of spiritual masters. And so live in our parampara. All we have 4 bona fide parampara, authorized parampara. Every parampara starts from Lord Krishna only. Only when the parampara starts from Lord Krishna, then it is bona fide. So only we are Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, means from Krishna to Brahma, like that it is. So the original head of all authorized parampara is Lord Krishna, because Krishna is the beginning of everything. Krishna is the beginning of everything. So here he's telling that how you are the spiritual master of everything. So we'll read the purport also. Subbarao Prabhuji will read the purport. Prabhuji is not there.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, purport.
Yes, Mata. दिए दोनों 66 दोनों Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable. Purport is Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable as a father. Father is worshipable for his son. He is a spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplinic succession stemming from the Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in Svetasvatara Upanishad. Natasya karma, natasya karyam, karnam, natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natat samas cha bhyadhikas cha drishyate. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and body like the ordinary man, but for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute, therefore his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him. No one can be greater than him, and no one can be equal to him. One is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of Supreme Personality are all transcendental, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection after quitting this body returns to him and does not come back again to the miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna. That will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 5th chapter, 142 verse, confirms Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
So again and again, 2-3 places Prabhupada tells in the purport that no one is equal to him, no one is greater than Krishna, everybody is servant of Krishna, everybody is lower than Krishna. These 3 places he has told in this one purport. So only Krishna is called as Asamardha. So there is no competition with Krishna. The only thing which we can do if we are intelligent and wise is to surrender to Krishna. If we do anything else, see now when it is told that everybody is complying with his order, we may find so many people are not listening to Krishna or are not doing according to, we know that we have certain few things that pleases Krishna and we try to do like that, and we see so many people who are not doing. And how does this work that everyone is complying with his order? It because those who are not surrendered to Krishna, they are acted upon by Krishna's material energy. Everything is within Krishna only. So we have our karmic reactions. So everybody is going through their pure karma. So sometimes we may feel that apparently nothing is happening, but they are going through that karmic cycle. So death will come, and for everybody has to face death. And those who are devotees of Krishna, the death will be like a loving embrace in the hands of Krishna. Otherwise, it's like a thunderbolt. So death will come. So that is everybody has to comply by Krishna's order. So wantingly or unwantingly, likingly or unlikingly, there is no escape for this. And only escape and janma mrityu jara vyad, no, what you say, the cycle of birth and death cannot be avoided. Only the devotees have their secret formula by which they can step out of this Janma Mrityu cycle, and that is by understanding Janma Karma Chamedev. Understanding to come out our Janma Mrityu cycle, we need to understand the activities, the birth and activities of the Supreme Lord are transcendental. What do you mean by transcendental? That is, Krishna, even though when he incarnates among us, as one of, like in his Krishna Lila, he incarnated as a human being. But when he incarnates, his mind, his senses, his body they are all divyam, they are all transcendental, and they are not different from each other. That is, when we see Krishna's eyes, his hands can also see. His eyes can do the works of the hands. So everything is Chintamani for him. So it may appear like us, but they are not limited like us. It's always unlimited, it's always spiritual, it is always superior. So that is what Krishna is. So neither we can say that Krishna is one supreme energy who is sitting there, and we cannot relate to him in his personal form. We cannot say like that also. Nor we can say that, oh, he is like a person, is like us only, he is limited like us. No, he looks like us, he comes with it, appears like us to have a loving relationship with us, so that he can take us back in his eternal pastimes. But he is not like us. He is always spiritual, he is always transcendent, he is always special, he is always great. So that is the speciality of Krishna. And when we understand this subtle concept of Krishna in our day-to-day understanding, that is Tyaktva Deham Punajanma Naiti. That is the whole thing. When we understand the position, the potency, the power, the supremacy of the Supreme Lord in its as it is, and we serve accordingly and surrender ourselves, that there is no more Naitimam. We don't have to come back to this material world again and again. And how, as we already discussed, that how he is the source of everything, and only when he is the source, then that parampara or that spiritual mastership or all the disciplic succession becomes authentic. Only when it starts with Krishna. Anything, everything connected with Krishna is authentic and correct. Anything and everything which is disconnected with Krishna is not authentic. It's temporary and it has no value. So that is the essence of this. And we'll move on to the next verse. Who wants to read next?
Mataji, can I read? I'm Ravi.
Yes, yes.
Tasmat pranamya pranidaya kayam prasadaye tva mahamisa Piteva putrasya sakeva sakyo priya priyayarthasi devasudham so devasodam. You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend of the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Purport. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship, as the father tolerates, or the husband or a master tolerates. So Krishna tolerates. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very beautiful. How in different ways which we can understand that way the relationships are explained. So only see, now we know that Krishna, there are 5 primary rasas. That is Shanta, Sakyam, Dasyam, Shantam, Dasya, Sakyam, then Vatsalya, and then Madhurya we have. So these are the 5 primary rasas, and there are so many secondary rasas like Virya rasa, then many other rasas are there, Shaurya, Virya, and like that. The point is the all kind of qualities, all kind of relationships, all kind of expressions of relation or expressions of rasa is already there in Krishna. So everybody experiences Krishna in his unique particular way. So only Krishna apparently fights with the Bhishma because he wanted to have his Virya Rasa satisfied. And he knows with whom he can do. So only apparently it is told that Krishna fights with the different demons like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu and all. They are no one else other than Jaya and Vijaya. So Jaya, Vijaya, they are his own people, and when he fights with Hiranyaksha, he has so much of fun. So because he's fully experiencing, he's feeling happy with that Virya Rasa because that is it is. So only when Krishna enters the wrestling arena at Mathura, Kamsa's wrestling arena when he was 11 years old, he was brought from Mathura, Krishna and Balaram. So that one verse is the Mallanam. I don't know the verse it is, but that verse, no, different people who were in the wrestling arena, the young gopis saw him as a lover, the elderly gopis considered him as child, the yodhas, they felt like they also want to go and fight with Krishna. Kamsa saw Krishna as death personified. So the different people in the arena, according to their mood, according to the relationship with Krishna, saw same Krishna in different ways. So here also he's saying that Arjuna apparently in this verse he is asking he's begging forgiveness because that will as the last 3-4 verses he's like, I considered you as my friend, I considered you as my equal, and I was not very respectful, not very formal with you, and so you please forgive my impudence. He says, like a father tolerates his son, or a friend tolerates another friend, or husband his wife, like that. You please tolerate, like that. He's asking his apologies. But purport what Prabhupada is telling is how Krishna has different relationship with the different people, and we as devotees, even if we are not on a level to be like Sakya or Vatsalya, at least like Lakshmi Narayan form, that is all reverence, we can understand Krishna, we can serve Krishna, and in course of time, uh, apparently everybody has a spiritual identity. It is told that everybody has their spiritual identity, and when we get purified by our japa tapa, automatically nama rupa guna leela of the Lord is revealed, and that time our spiritual identity are revealed, it is said. So the thing is, right now we need to serve Krishna, as been told to us by our spiritual masters, as been told to us by Srila Prabhupada, and understand the supremacy and serve accordingly, and surrender our life. Remaining are the details which will be taken care automatically. We'll move on to the next verse. Next two verses, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show his regular human form, because now he is completely overwhelmed by the universal form, and he feels that his regular two-handed form is very peaceful, and he would like to have a feel of that, and he requests Krishna to come back to his regular form. Who wants to read?
Can I, Mataji?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Adristapurvam risitosmi dristva bhayena cha pravyatitam. Sorry, Mataji. Bhayena cha pravyatitam mano me tad eva me darsaya deva rupam prasiddha devesha jagannivasa. Hare Krishna. Can I read the translation?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead. O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
You read the purport also, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend, and as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus, his mind is disturbed out of fear. Although he had no reason to fear, Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayana form because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planet, he has his transcendental form with 4 hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestation of different names. Thus, Krishna desired to see one of the form manifested. Sorry, Mataji. Thus, Arjuna desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is 4-handed, but the 4 hands hold different arrangements of symbols: the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands, these 4 things are held in the Narayanas as variously named. All of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his 4-handed feature. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So here Arjuna, he is happy, and in the meantime he was fearful, and he is little uncomfortable seeing his dear friend, his Supreme Lord, in that universal form. So he's like request. So now he desires to see his 400 form also, because he has seen his 200 form. So now he says, you show your Narayana form like that. So Prabhupada explains, and in this thing, one important part, that point that comes in this purport is, the universal form, this material world, if you understand, is real, but it is temporary. Why it is temporary? Because it gets annihilated and it gets manifested again and again. It's not eternal. Similarly, the Vishwarupa form, the universal form of the Supreme Lord, is a aspect of the material world. It is not an aspect of the spiritual world, in the sense that it is a temporary form, because the entire cosmos, the created cosmos, the material world created form is seen in the universal form. So that in that sense, the universal form is kind of imaginary, because there is nothing, it's a kind of a manifestation. It's kind of a graphic representation of the existence of the representation of the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. So that is a representation. So it is not real eternal form, that is the form that is existing in the Vaikuntha world. It's not like that. So hereby Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show his Narayana form, and in the Vaikuntha planets, in different planets, all the incarnations have a place in the Vaikuntha planets, like Narsimha Avatar. Everybody has a place in the Vaikuntha planets where he is eternally exhibited as his 400 form, Shanga Chakra Gadha Padma form, and that form hereby Arjuna is requesting. In this purport, it is, I think in the next purport it is there, Prabhupada specifically says that this goes on to show that how Narayana form is, how Krishna, the supreme form, the 2-handed Krishna, is the cause of all causes, the original Godhead. There is no one superior to him. His plenary expansion is a Narayana form, and expansion of expansion, plenary portion is our Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So there is no more, there should not be any more confusion that in respect to Vishnu, Mahanarayana, or who Krishna, who is original, who is the secondary, who is whether it is from Vishnu Krishna or from Krishna Vishnu. So it is very clear, the 200 Krishna form, who is displaying all his supremacy at the Krishna Loka, is the cause of all causes. No one is greater than him, no one is equal to him, and everybody else is an expansion of Krishna, Narayana forms or the Mahavishnu forms. Next one. Who wants to read?
I'll read, Mataji.
Padma Mataji, I heard. Correct, no?
Okay, Mataji, she can read. It's okay, no problem.
Who was it next one? I can't see your name.
Thank you, Mataji.
Welcome.
Hare Krishna. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam.
Who is reading? Padma is reading.
Mataji, it's me, Rohini.
Rohini. Okay.
Yeah. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam. Ichhami tvam drashtumham tameva.
Tataiva.
Drashtumham tathaiva. Teneva rupena chaturbhujena. Sahasra baho bhava vishvamurte. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Should I read the purport, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
In the Brahma Samhita 5.39, it is stated, Ramadi Murtisu Kala Niyamena Tishthanah. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Narasimha, Narayana, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt that statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, a couple of things, nice things are, see here, like we discussed that he has innumerable eternal forms, and like Rama, Narasimha, Narayana, they are all in their Chaturpuja forms in the Vaikuntha planets. They have their own space there. That is one point. So when we say Krishna, the 200 form is the supreme and is the cause of all causes, is the topmost, like that, when we say, that does not mean that his plenary expansions are anything less, in the sense that in their when we get into the details, we know that 64 qualities, 60 qualities, 55 qualities, all that is there. But otherwise, for us, our living entity, everybody is like equal to all of Krishna only, like in his power. They are all supreme personality of God. Everybody is Krishna on all his plenary portions are as like Krishna only. They are their power, it's same. Only when it compares with Krishna and Narayana, we know understand that Krishna's plenary expansion is Narayana. That's all it is. But otherwise, for us, everybody is supreme personality Godhead. Everybody is worshipable. There is no distinctions. We worship everybody. There is no Mahavishnu, all Vishnu forms, or Rama, Narasimha, everybody we worship equally, and there we don't make any distinctions. And here it is a main feature of that is everybody is always young, ever youthful they are. So that is a speciality of that is called a supreme personality of Godhead. Everybody is always young, and this is the constant feature of the Supreme Lord, and one who knows Krishna. So the whole thing is when we know things as they are, how they are divya, how they are transcendental, but how can we also establish a relationship with it? What do we mean by sadhana bhakti? What is the perfection of sadhana bhakti? What is the process of sadhana bhakti? And how we can in a day-to-day life include this and perfect our lives and be a part of that spiritual world, or at least understand the position of Krishna, position of ours, who am I, who is the Supreme Lord, how to establish a relationship with him. So and we understand things as they are, then he becomes at once free from all contaminations of this material world. So that is our position. Why we are doing all this exercise, so that we can also be a part as a, but we are bhratya se pratya, that is we are always a servant only, but to be a servant of Krishna also needs some qualification, no? So like that. So we have an opportunity given to us by Srila Prabhupada and the parampara and by the Krishna conscious process. Okay, next one. Padma Mataji wants to read now. She is not there. Okay.
Hey,
Can I
Mataji.
read Mataji?
Krishnamurti
Sorry,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, it was on mute.
Shri Bhagavan
Okay,
Vacha. Maya
I'll read that.
Krishnamurti Prabhuji is reading now, right now.
Okay, no problem.
Shri Bhagavan
Next one is Padma.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Maya prasannena tavarjunedam rupam param darshitam yogat tejomayam vishwamanantamadyam yanme tvadanyena drashtupurvam. Translation by ICF Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence." Hare Krishna Mataji. Shall I read purport, Mataji?
Yes.
Arjuna wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Krishna, out of his mercy, out of his devotee Arjuna, showed his universal form, full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and its many faces were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjuna. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculation. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna. But because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in the other planets in outer space could also see it. They had not seen it before, but because of Arjuna, they were also able to see it. In other words, all the disciples, devotees of the Lord could see the universal form which was shown to Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. Someone has commented that this form was shown to Duryodhana also when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate his peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer, but at the time, Krishna manifested some of his universal forms, but those forms are different from this one shown to Arjuna. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this now Lord goes to Hastinapur later as a Shanti Dut also, and then when they want to catch hold of a band, they wanted to arrest Krishna. The foolish Duryodhana and party wanted to arrest Krishna. At that time, Krishna shows his universal form there once more, and that time Dhritarashtra also gets eyes to see. So it is told that the extent and the extensiveness of the universal form, the details of the uniform form, the highest form, the depth of universal form to the highest degree was shown to Arjuna only, and no one before has seen that universal form. That it is told that it is clear that no one has seen before means that particular form which Arjuna saw, that Sahasa, Shiva said, all effulgence, all light coming out, people going inside, all people coming outside, everything is getting born from him, everything annihilate. All the details of the entire cosmos which he saw, that form was not shown to anybody else. But because then later, when Arjuna was able to see, all the devotees in the parampara were also able to see, demigods from the heavenly planets also could see. So later, when he had shown in Hastinapur with Dhritarashtra saw that was it was a huge form, but not with so much details. That time Dhritarashtra, others could not see that everybody, Bhishma, Drona, everybody entering in his mouth. That and all details was not seen. So now in the Srimad Bhagavatam also, if we see in the second canto, there are chapters explaining the Virat form. So the Virat form, since it is a manifest, it's a it's a graphical representation. It's more of a representation of the supremacy of the Lord. It is shown in different aspects, like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, if we see, it is told that when Brahmaji was first born, he was supposed to perform sacrifice. There was nothing available. There were no people to perform sacrifices, and there was no ingredients also. That time the Lord exhibited means he saw the Lord's big form where all the demigod sages are in his body, where all the sacrificial like flowers, fruits, everything, ingredients required for the sacrifice also in his body. So the like portions of the body of the Supreme Lord was taken to perform the sacrifice, because everything exists in the body only. No, so anything you take it, it's from Krishna only we take. We are taking it from the Supreme Lord only. So like that it is told. So all the items required was seen in that form. Later it is told that the universal form is like the 14 planetary systems, Bhurloka, Bhuvarloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. So the different parts of the Supreme Lord are seen as the different planets. So that is another one kind of representation of the universal form. And another kind of representation is the representation of the different varnas, like the Brahmanas are the head, the Kshatriyas are the hand, Vaishyas the thighs, the legs are the Shudras, like that. So the different varnas also are represented in the universal form. So point is, there are various different details are different of the universal representation of Lord. But this particular form which Arjuna saw, no one had seen it before, and this is the most magnanimous and most detailed that he had shown to his dear friend and devotee Arjuna. Next one. Today this is the last verse. Yeah, Padma, you read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Na veda yajnaya yanairna dhanir na cha kriyabir na tapo virugrahe evam rupa shakyam loke drishtam tvadanyena kuru pravira. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. Shall I read the purport also, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhakter Smrata Devaha. Those who are atheistic, that is, example, who do not believe in Vishnu, now recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as a supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form. Although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna, now one can have some idea of the Vishnu Rupa after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord. But one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna decided to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. In this verse, there are some significant words, just like Veda Jagna Dhyaya Nahi, which refers to studying Vedic literature and the subject matter of sacrificial regulations. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic literature, such as the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, and the 18 Puranas, and the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are sutras, Kalpa Sutras and Mimamsa Sutras for studying the method of sacrifice. Dani refers to charity which is offered to a suitable party, which is those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Similarly, pious activities refers to the Agnihotra, and the prescribed duties of the different castes. And the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. Those who are the impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation. But this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there's no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of a pseudo-incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of the God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
So essentially in this purport it is told that one main thing is anybody and everybody cannot claim to be God. First of all, if they have to claim to be God, then they should show the universal form. That is one aspect. Another aspect what it is saying is nobody only when they are pure devotees of the Lord, in that circle only they can see universal form like Arjuna, like that. So simply somebody cannot say I had seen in the last night in my dream universal form came. All that cannot happen. First, it should be that it is very clearly hereby told in the Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Lord Krishna, that he needs to be a devotee of the Lord. Then only there is question of seeing universal forms. So when it comes to and then Prabhupada goes on to say that those are pure devotees of the Lord. They want to serve the Lord. They are not interested in seeing the apparently form of the Lord. Now Arjuna was fearful of seeing the universal form. So he said, show the Narayana form. But his interest is in the 200 Krishna form only, because in that way he gets more happiness, joy, and he is able to serve Krishna. So, but from the universal form, to bring him down, he told 400 form. So that is a better form before the 200 form, like that, because more easier to perceive, like that. So main 3 points is, first thing is we need to be devotees of the Lord. And it is devotees of the Lord. Devotees are not so interested to see the form, universal form of the Lord. They are more interested to serve, and they're more interested in this 200 Krishna Shamsundar form. That is that way they can have that deeper relationship with Krishna. And third one is devotees do not accept anybody who say that they are the incarnations or any false incarnations, anybody telling that they are God or anybody telling that they have seen the God. And when we say pure devotees, impersonalists who do not consider the personal form of the Krishna, who do not understand that Krishna can reciprocate with us, we can have a relationship with Krishna, we can serve Krishna in a very personal way, then people do not believe that they are not devotees of the Lord. Because pure devotees of the Lord means, or devotees of the Lord means, who understand Krishna in his personal form, who serve Krishna in that way. So the impersonalists or the atheists cannot be counted in that category, and there is no question of them seeing the universe. So these things, when we read, things are more clear, telling that who is who, what is what. And so if we have any thoughts, considerations also, it is very nice that it gets cleared off and makes our path, if we are serious and sincere to move ahead in the path of devotion service. These purports, these texts of Srimad Bhagavad Gita helps us in every aspect to clear all kinds of doubts and make up the path more strong and clear. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Mataji, one small doubt can I ask Mataji, please?
Yes.
Sorry, Mataji. Mataji's universal form, of course, I understood it is the Vishwarupa, which, of course, none of Krishna's forms you can see with the human eye. So Narayana form is the four-handed form with the conch and the lotus and that one. And the two-handed form is the Sham Sundar form. All three human beings cannot see. But the more
Devotees of the
peaceful...
Lord can see actually. That only
Beg
what
your pardon,
Prabhupada is telling. Pure devotees of the Lord can see.
can see.
That's what
All
Prabhupada
the...
is telling. Everything they can see. See now,
Everything
Arjuna was a pure devotee of the now.
Okay,
So
Mataji.
devotees can see the universal form also. They can see the 400 form also. They can see the 200 form also. But Prabhupada is specifically telling that devotees of the Lord are not so interested to see the universal form. And why Arjuna was interested? Because it was like in the common men, if they have a thought that anybody can, in the future, anybody can be God, then if they show their universal form, then they can be considered as God. That was one of the main reasons why Arjuna also wanted to see a universal form. So, but otherwise, Prabhupada is telling the purport that if you are in the pure devotees can see the universal form, Chaturbhuja form, or Shamsundar form. They can see it. So, in our, if we see the literatures of the Goswamis, if we see Chaitanya Charitamrita, or if we read Srimad Bhagavatam, so many devotees like you and me who have perfected a life by a strong sadhana bhakti, they have seen Shamsundar form. In our parampara, in our Shad Goswamis, very few hundred years back, devotees have seen the Lord. See now, if you see Gaur Govind Maharaj, if you see in his one book is there, it is told that when he was 7 years old, he saw a small boy running around the temple, and then he entered into the deity room. Actually, he was none other than Krishna. Like that and all is there.
Yes,
So,
yes.
few hundred years back, only devotees have seen.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat.
Pranam.
So, we are done. Mataji. Pancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavane vaishnava ananta koti vaishnava.
Thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful class.
Thank you,
Nice to explain,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you,
Wonderful class.
Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji.
We are leaving.
Thank you, Mataji. Danda Pranam.
Dandavat Bhuvana Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Can I end the session, Mataji, with your permission? Okay, with all your permission, I'm just ending this meeting. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. We'll meet on Monday. Hare Krishna to all the devotees.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you so much.